argue about soccer, and I'm like, hey, this means gonna lose the sale. No! He's not gonna lose the sale. The more they argue, the more buddies they came, and they came the next week to talk about it again.
Any other question, different question?
Wait, can I just expand on that?
Yeah.
The pleasure
And the pain.
where did you learn that concept? Or
Being aware, you have to be pay attention to the people, how they talk. People talk about two topics, you know. My girlfriend, I just met her, but she's telling me she just broke up with her boyfriend. This is all pretend, by the way. It's not true. And she's, you know, or she just met a guy. He's really, really great. She's telling me, I like this guy. I think he's it, you know. Or I landed this job, or I made more money. It's one or the other. No matter what the conversation is, there's either pain behind it, or there's pleasure. That's it. There's nothing else.
Yeah, I would say that one of the quickest things to get you to lose a sale is to go into the sale immediately.
Yeah, don't do that.
And that's what she's talking about. It's if you don't try to start to build a relationship with that individual, it doesn't matter if you're selling to a corporation, you need to find out what is it that motivates that individual. What are they like? What is their life like? What are they doing? And then as well, and why are they talking to you? People hate to talk to a salesperson if they don't have to, if we're there for the sale, right?
Can't be there for the sale.
So you have to sit down, get to know them a little bit. You know, if you see something in their office, hey, you know what, I'm a runner. I see that you ran the marathon. Boom, you've already got that commonality. But you need to find out, why are they talking to you? Did something upset you about where you currently get that? Could you help me understand that better? Is a great line. Because then for the rest of your presentation, you're showing how you're not going to cause that pain, or that problem isn't going to get duplicated by coming to work with you. I'm going to simplify your life by making sure that doesn't happen again. And so really it's always, you need to find out, why are they talking to you? And you can kind of go from there.
Thank you. What was your question?
Oh, right. So I'm sure it took you some amount of time to go through some growing pains, lose some sales in the beginning, gain some sales. I'm sure there was probably like a roller coaster of ups and downs.
Doesn't end.
Yeah, it doesn't end. Okay. So I guess I was questioning, from your experience, I know there's no timeline. What was your experience and how you were able to build a skill set that kept you in the game? Because obviously must have been a point in you said, okay, I'm getting better, I'm doing more, I'm getting better, I'm gaining more, and you kind of started to go up on a trajectory that was more up.
That's a great question.
Yeah, I'm going to say that I am an advantage because I'm a pastor's kid. As a matter of fact, my entire family is in the ministry. Everybody. Aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody except for me. But I used the skills I learned as a pastor's kid. My father was all about serving the community, understanding, finding those connections. If there was a member in the church and they lost their apartment, he didn't care what time. He was calling the relationship he had at City Hall or at an organization until they found him the apartment, and those people stayed in the house. We had a lot of tenants in our house, never paying rent, just living there temporarily. But so serving and listening and caring became part of my DNA. I had to, because I was pushed since I was a child. When I turned 18. Actually, when I turned 17 and I got my license, you know what my job was in order to get a car? In order for me to buy my own car, because I didn't buy my car. I had to buy my car. You know what my first job, you can buy a car only if you take Miss Castro every Saturday for her treatments in the hospital. That was the only way I was allowed to buy the car. Can you believe that? Even at that moment, they made me serve. But then I loved Miss Castro. I love her. I took care of her. I went and I picked her up every Saturday, and I had lunch with her, and I went through her painting until she passed away. And so that caring kind of was part of me in my religious family background.
Randy, when did you reach that point? When did you
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
to sales?
So, like I said, I came out of school, no sales experience, and every sale does boost your confidence a little bit, right? And you feel like, I can do this, oh, I can do it again, oh wait, I can kind of good at this, right? And the ones that, especially when you're beginning in sales, because your philosophy is you can't let the highs get too high or the lows get too low, but when you're first starting out in sales, those highs feel really good, it's money in your pocket, and those lows feel like blows in the stomach, right? You're like, oh, you're not taking that job? What are you saying? You just said you would, right? And
She's like, I'm picking you up, and if not, I'm gonna send Esther.
Right.
She's got the car.
Right? And then I moved into a different role where I'm selling to outside clients, and the first time I had to tell my client that, like, oh, well, I had this guy, he's not gonna take your job, but I want to still do business with you, right? It's like a punch in the stomach. And when you start to get to the point where, you know, every instance that you didn't win, you learn from it, right? And if you can take those learning moments every single time, even if you're not getting the sale, like your numbers are not as high as you'd like them to be, you know that you're doing the job better. You feel more informed. You are able to have a better detailed conversation because you can, hey, so what else do you have going on at that job? Okay, who else have you been talking to? What other recruiters are you speaking with? Okay, so who's the person helping you, motivate you to talk this? Oh, my sister, my mom. You start to become aware of all of the factors and all of the details that get involved in that sale. And again, I say this because I have a team of recruiters now, and I say to them, I said, even if you don't get it, if you control every little aspect that you could control, you feel good when you don't. You know what? I did all I could. It just wasn't meant to happen, and you follow up, and you'll get it later.
Yeah,
That's it.
I would say that if you go into a sales role, lock yourself in there, no matter what the situation is, and commit to a period of time, commit to a couple of years.
Yes.
Have that sort of, because what's going to happen is you're going to start, and your motivation is going to be here, because it's new and it's exciting, but your skill is going to be down here. And the key to making it in sales, and you will make it if you work at it and you study and you practice, you do what we talked about today, is that when you can't let your motivation wane too early. You have to keep your motivation high, because when that skill level gets here with the right motivation, the results are fantastic.
Fabulous.
But you have to stick it out.
I would say to piggyback as well, it's, for those of you that aren't in sales, you've likely excelled beyond maybe the success that your friends have had in whatever you've tried, the things that you've pursued, you've done well. It becomes having that confidence in yourself to say, I'm going to step out, you know, I'm going to, here's a corporate environment, it's nice and protected, I may not like it, but at least I'm making some basic money and I'm good. You just have to have the confidence in yourself for two things. Number one, to say, okay, I'm now going to wind up living based off of my ability to interact with people. The second thing becomes, and exactly to Bill's point, I tell everybody that comes to work with me, I go, you need to get accustomed to failing really fast, unfortunately. Sales is not something that you can read in a book and be good at tomorrow. Sales is not worrying about not knowing everything about the product or whatever it is that you're selling, but sitting down in front of a person and finding out what it is they need and how can you, the moment you say find someone that says they're interested, well then you can figure out what the heck it is you're selling, because you go, oh my God, I got I want some more information. But really, honestly, it's you, and you learn through, which is why you need to be comfortable failing to get to that success, because you can't. It's impossible to jump into something that you've never done before and immediately catapult to the top. It takes a little bit of time, but the success, again, as long as you have the confidence in yourself, you implement a few simple skills, and then the opportunities.
Find a mentor.
Go ahead with
Yeah,
your
let's go.
question.
Put it on.
You talk about failing and taking success from other places. What do you think of when people say that if you could sell bottled water, you could sell, if you're good at one thing, you could be good at anything? Does that really transfer over? If you could sell uniforms at Cintas, you could sell State Farm Insurance. Is
You're
that
selling Coca-Cola now, aren't you?
right? You got a good memory.
You sell insurance.
My answer to that is that's about 90% true. I think there would be some very technical sales where if you didn't have an engineering degree or whatever the background needed, you wouldn't be credible. But I'd like to think that Esther could come to work for Cintas or Alejandro or Brandy, and they could be very successful. They would be. I don't think I can afford you. But yes, I think that these skills that we talk about are transferable.
Absolutely. And yes, because it's the basic rules. Business is business,
Yeah.
right? No matter what the product is, business is business. That's why there's only one business school. In sales, the same process and disciplines and attitudes and education and all that, because I was in your class before, so it seems like that Freddie was saying that you were pretty good. So at least that's the impression I got. Whatever disciplines you've acquired through that training and through your practices of your business, you can apply those same disciplines, just change the product and you'll be fine, except for those exceptions.
Thank you.
Something more in your favor, I think in your favor. I came here at the age of 30, knew very little English, and therefore I have kept always a foreign accent, which didn't please many people. In your case, I think, in most of you, you are native born here, your English is perfect, so you can work in either culture successfully, but you have the advantage of going from one to the other, which many Anglos might not have. So you are not in bad shape.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Actually, I call myself without race because I feel like a Puerto Rican, so I think. And then when I go to visit my family who are Puerto Rican, I stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
But then when I hang out with my Anglo friends, my Spanish comes out because I want to dance a salsa, I want an empanada, you know, that comes out as well. So it's like being in the middle. But that middle is a good thing because you can dance one side to the other. You know, failure. Coco Chanel had a movie, and the end part, it always caught my attention because Denise says to Coco Chanel, I would love to be as powerful and as successful as you are, she said. And so Coco Chanel says, then you have to go through many failures. So those that are very powerful and successful, they fail many, many times. The difference is they got up.
Absolutely.
So get up.
Beautiful. Beautifully said.
One last question, yes?
I don't have a question. I just want to, I know I'm not in the panel, but I just want to kind of elaborate on what you guys were talking about a good salesperson. I came to one of these events, actually to the first event from that they had in the Xerox building. And I met a representative from Prudential. And I spoke with him about 6 years ago. I did the training, but I never pursued it because I had another job opportunity. So yesterday we came for the refresher, and he actually came up to me. I spotted him because I knew who he was, but I didn't think he was going to recognize me. So he came up to us and he was like, Jess, and I was like, oh my God, like, this guy remembers my name. Like, I didn't even remember his name. And I'm like, yeah, oh my God. So as we're speaking, and she was with me, she's a good friend of mine, and there was a few other girls, he keeps on telling me, like, the first thing he said was, how are the kids, and how's your father, and I'm looking at him, and I'm telling her, I'm freaked out right here, because this is amazing. This is like 6 years ago. And it was, he put such an impression on me, he left such an impression on me that, seriously, I went home and I was like, I think I might consider going back, because it was so amazing how he knew everything about me, and just the way it was so natural.
Mm-hmm.
And he even told me, he's like, I'm still waiting for you after all these years, and I'm like, oh. So it's to just kind of like tell you guys that no matter what, it's what you're saying, listening. It's listening, paying attention, and just, taking that in, because, right, because obviously I had a story behind my past, and that's what kind of attracted him to me. And he remembered that. And it was just so amazing. Like, I was like, wow, this guy really cares, he listened, he understood. And so that's like the main thing. It's just listening, understanding, and that's building a relationship. And so just to show you, 6 years later, now I'm like, oh God, here we go again.
I'll tell you a little secret.
That's correct.
The better you get at sales, the better you get at relationships, even in your personal life. Because if you implement those same techniques to your spouses, your boyfriends, even your girlfriends, or not girlfriend, but whatever, girlfriend, and then girlfriend, whatever, those are the things. They help. Paying attention, listening, caring, really caring, remembering. She's impacted forever. You might even get the job the next meeting. She might say, I work for Prudential, but Esther gets better.
If you're here local.
I'll remember your
You can find a commonality in anyone.
Yeah.
You really can, right?
No question.
And Black black, white, blue, yellow, you know, native from here, from another country. You can literally find, and because I teach new, you know, recruiters out of school, I said, when you go to your conversations, find one commonality, right? Find one thing that will connect you to that person. And guess what? You'll remember it, and they will not forget that, you know, that you remembered it. And it'll take your sale.
What is your commonality? You want to ask something?
Oh no, I just, I mean, I hear a lot about, I mean, there's failure and there is success in sales, right? And it's important to learn from both, right?
Absolutely.
And I just want to make, I mean, to know, I mean, how do you know, I mean, what is success in sales? I mean, what do you consider success in?
Good question.
I mean, is it different for each of you, or maybe it's success is more what your boss considers you as being successful, or your customer considers you being successful? I don't know.
It's about you. It is definitely about you. You are the author of your life. You are in charge of writing that book. So with that being said, you need to know what your end goal is. What is my end goal in all aspects? Family, you, family, spiritual, impact, community, whatever those things are for you. If I am, to me, just to give you a little bit, I am a mother of 3 children. So to me, success, in part, is having that intimate relationship and time with my children. That is crucial to me. I don't want to wait until they're in their 30s to start a relationship. And I own a business and I work a lot of hours. So I make sure that I have time for them. Success, having a spiritual life. To me, having peace of mind, it's very important to know. That's also success. Success, even just acquiring an account, that makes me feel good. That makes me, I'm doing well. And then I have a financial goal. I have 3 children, I want college, I want this, so my numbers, ouch, they hurt, but I need to get there. And so then, once I know my end goal and what I want my message, if I passed away today, I want people to say a certain thing about me. And I only have about a few minutes to give you that message so that you remember that of me. So, knowing what your end goal is and then start planning step by step to get to that goal, that is success, whatever it is.
I don't know if Bill or Alejandro have flights to take or something. Nobody's chasing us out or anything.
Oh, okay.
This is very interesting.
One of the things that stuck out with me, I think,